right. Well, I'm not sure if Art's on there, but I'm going to go ahead and make a short statement that I'm available for whatever is needed. Always interesting to start practice, to be in summer school, which we did all last week, but the difference this year is that we're doing it again this week. We have finals that start over the next, I think, start tomorrow through Sunday. So I'm really pleased with our players' focus, with their ability to be football players when we ask them to, and we've tried to be very conscientious about their ability to be students. We have had good work, maybe a little less than what we've done in the past in the first 2 weeks, but at the same time, at the end of this week, and we will scrimmage Saturday, we'll have 3 full weeks before we play. So with that little report, I'll take any questions that you have.
Coach Mark Watson, Blue Devil Nation, what are you hoping to see and get accomplished in the scrimmage on Saturday?
Well, it's kind of a step-by-step procedure. One of the first things and the obvious is our kicking, not just the place kicking, but every element of our kicking game will be worked. We're going to be as game-like as we can possibly be, maybe as much as we've ever been. But that reason, and that particular reason. The next thing is I want to see personnel. I want to see our people.
Hey, this is Steve Wiseman. You mentioned Sunday night about you like the physicality, especially some of the younger guys on the defensive line and offensive line, and maybe some older guys doing things a little better. You said you didn't have any names then. Do you have some more names now to look at some film and seeing what guys were doing?
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear me. I was in the middle of answering that other question, Steve. I'll finish that quickly and then get right to yours. That's all right.
Okay. You were on personnel, Coach.
Do what now?
You were on personnel.
Yeah. So just looking at personnel, which kind of the same question Steve asked, I want to look at both lines of scrimmage and look at different combinations, look at people playing against people, ones against twos, twos against ones, mixing it up a little bit to see how people respond to different matchups. Right now we have a starting front 4, we have a starting 5 on offense, but again, I'm going to spend a good part of this scrimmage looking at those fronts in both cases. We obviously in the secondary have some people that we've got to evaluate, and got Brian Fields is nicked up. I may hold him. A few others that we won't play in the scrimmage, but it'll give us a chance to look at some of the freshman safeties and maybe a corner or two. And then looking at the different receiver combinations, of course, will be important in this scrimmage. To get to some particulars, in the defensive line, Steve, this should answer your question. All 6 of our true freshmen have at different times caught my eye. I think probably right now, if I had to pick 2 to start with, and this is far from over. We hadn't had a lot of padded practices, but Drew Jordan and Ben Fry have been very noticeable on there. We're going to give them some meaningful snaps. Victor Dubuquet, Chris Rump, both at end, same type thing. I mean, there's ability there. And then Axel Yemwe and Derek Tangelo inside. Our size and force of people we hadn't had, and they're going to have to get in a little better shape, which is going to happen with playing and here in practicing, but there's some promise there. And the rest of our people you know about. Over on offense, I guess right now Rock Chambers is probably the one that would jump to mind the quickest. I'm very pleased with those true freshmen. very pleased with some of our redshirt freshmen as they have gotten more and more snaps. So a lot of promise there. I think Julian Santos is a much better second-year player than he was a first-year player. So there's hope and competition in both lines of scrimmage.
Coach, have you started to get any separation amongst the skilled players on offense?
Well, I think Sean Wilson has separated himself, and T.J. Ramming has separated himself at their respective positions, and I think Daniel Helm has done that. Behind them, I think we're still very much in an evaluation. But those three, T.J. at receiver, Sean at running back, and Daniel at tight end, have certainly had, to this point, outstanding camps.
Coach, can you follow up? Scott Bracey had a little bit of an injury earlier in the week. Has he been returned to practice, or is he still limited?
He's limited right now. He is not going. He's not completing a full practice or full speed yet. So hopefully we're trying to get him well, but we can get past this and not look back.
And one other thing I wanted to ask, if I could, when you were talking about your guys balancing school and classwork and football right now, there's a big to-do nationally because Josh Rosen of UCLA made a comment that football and school don't go together, and I just wondered if you'd take this opportunity to respond.
Well, I don't know the context he said that. I don't know if he's talking about because we're in summer school or if he's talking about in general. If he's talking about in general, that's a nonsense statement. Football and school have gone together as long as there's been college football. If that's what he meant. If he's talking about the extension of camp into more school, then I agree with it, if that makes sense. So you tell me what the context was. Which way was he referring to it?
I think he's talking about full-time. I can give you the full quote if you want it. He said, look,
go ahead.
Football and school don't go together. They just don't. Trying to do both is like trying to do two full-time jobs. There are guys that have no business being in school, but they're here because it's the path of the NFL. There's no other way.
Yeah, he's not a spokesperson for college football players. As I said, college football's done real well without him prior to this, and it'll do real well without him. It's not the way it's meant to be. It is college football, and people need to learn to accept that.
Thank you.
One of the things you mentioned in the preseason media day was the fact that everything was new last season. You've had an extra year, another year with your coaches and all. Are you seeing some benefits from that, these guys being there for the second time?
Yeah, there's no question. Everyone, the familiarity as a staff helps a great deal. We got a very young team, but at the same time, we've got enough veterans that those veterans are doing a good job of not just the coaches returning, but the veterans that are returning are doing a good job bringing the young players along. So it's been really seamless in that regard as far as what we compared this year to last year. There's no comparison.
Hey, David, this is Steve Wiseman again. Can you hear me? I'm not cutting somebody off, am I?
Nope, you're good. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Just can you give us an assessment of Daniel over the first week and a half here of practice and what you're seeing from him? Is he making the progress you've wanted him to as he starts his second season? Daniel Jones, talking about.
Steve, I think yesterday he did well this morning. I haven't finished all the film and the assessment. Yesterday may be the best I've ever seen him play, start to finish, game or practice. His strength, his speed showed. He had incredible touch on the ball, which is something we're still working on. I think Daniel, if he takes the approach he's taking right now, and continues to be all into just doing every little thing better, then I know this, that he's going to, the best is yet to come, but he is better than what he was a year ago. I can promise you that.